Not that much time has gone since the popular rumor spread from one to another about the great strength of a certain miller named Haken, who worked in the first half of the 19th century in a village near Porkuni. After getting into an argument with the head of that village, Haken was forced to leave Porkuni and started working at another mill, Norzo, near Rakvere. After his marriage, Haken changed his surname to Hackenschmidt and, according to popular rumor, was capable of pulling off all sorts of strength tricks. On one occasion he dragged a wagon of potatoes from the field on his own. The wagon was so heavy that even the horse was unable to move it. On another occasion he carried a horse from the backyard to the mill. Then he carried the dinner table, holding it with his teeth by the edge. He once tossed over a brook a dozen of soldiers who had been trampling the grass ready for haymaking. Once he even got in a fight with a few highway robbers. Even in old age, testing his strength against young people was still to his taste, and no one was able to overcome him. Nevertheless, some believe that he is not an ancestor of our famous weightlifter. George Hackenschmidt's grandfather, Christian Philipp Hackenschmidt, a Prussian, dyer by profession, obtained the residence permit on March 11, 1838, to settle in the province of Livonia, Tartu. With his wife in 1845 he received Russian citizenship. In 1847 she gave birth to his son, George Friedrich Heinrich, father of the yet-to-be-born, internationally renowned athlete. George Karl Julius Hackenschmidt was born in Tartu on July 20th, 1877, in the family of a master dyer. His mother was of Estonian heritage. From his grandfather on the mother's side he inherited Viking blood. The tone of international atmosphere permeated their family life. At home they spoke German and Estonian. We don't know much about Hackenschmidt's childhood. He played and joked with his peers on the meadows of Emajogi. Invariably, the boys came at one another, and Yuri, that's how Hackenschmidt was called back then, was always the winner. At the age of about 8 or 9, he was the leader among his peers, even those who were a bit older, since he was the strongest. Nevertheless, taking part in fights was not to his liking. He was too friendly. During his years in the local Rio school, his favorite classes were those of gymnastics. The gymnastic traditions of the school were well established, and even competitions were held. The first we know of took place in 1882. Hackenschmidt won the first place in his group of 14-year-olds. Back then, his height was 4'6", and body weight of about 120 pounds. He had great strength and, in addition to gymnastics, excelled at lifting dumbbells and in high jump. He was able to lift a dumbbell of about 35 pounds 21 times with his right arm and 16 with his left. In athletics, he was able to cover a distance of 590 feet in 26 seconds, clear 4 feet 6 inches in high jump, and cover a distance of 16 feet in long jump. In 1892, Hackenschmidt graduated from the Rio School and enrolled as a boilermaker's apprentice at the workshop of Lossmann. In his free time, he continued doing athletics. In 1895, he settled in Tallinn, where he worked at engineering plants. From then on, he started putting even more effort into physical activities and switched mainly to cycling. Participating in contests of the Italian Athletics and Cycling Club, Hackenschmidt won a few prizes. In the autumn, since the weather was becoming worse, he switched back to weightlifting, which remained his favorite sport ever since. Shortly after, he started attending a weightlifting club founded by Bösbö, the chairman and the trainer of which was Adolf Andrushkevich. Under the guidance of this great enthusiast of weightlifting, who used to give sensible advice, including on general physical training, Hackenschmidt made very fast progress. In the autumn of 1896, at the competition he showed the following results. He pressed with his right arm 145 pounds, 12 times, and 10 times 155 pounds, 3 times 198 pounds, and 1 time 214. He barbell curled with his right arm 124 pounds, lifting it from the ground, and 119 pounds with his left. As for his physical measurements, they were the following: 5'6". The circumference of his chest was about 42 inches, of the biceps relaxed 13.8 inches, and 15 when flexed. The forearm was 14 inches. His first public appearance took place in the August of 1896 under the assumed name of Lance at a big celebration organized by the community named Estonia, and, according to a newspaper, his performance was well received. In September, Hackenschmidt met in Tallinn another professional strongman, George Lurich, who had already made a name for himself and was on a tour to his motherland. Before they met, Hackenschmidt mostly lifted weights and had made great progress, outlifting his club members. But whenever it came to wrestling, to which he didn't pay enough attention initially, it was not unusual for him to lag behind them. This is why no one believed that he was able to compete against Lurich, the highly experienced knight of the mat. Nevertheless, they turned out to be on an equal footing, to everyone's surprise. The first bout ended in a draw, and only the second one ended in the victory of Lurich after 17 minutes of struggle, and Mr. Lance wrestled with determination and agility, which won him everyone's admiration as well. In October, Hackenschmidt won the title, the first strongman of Tallinn. Here's a report from a newspaper. At the circus, on October 26th and 27th, wrestling matches and a gymnastic performance took place. Mr. Lance was found the first strongman of Tallinn for defeating all the Tallinn ones and awarded the silver medal. His loss to Lurich made him pay more attention to wrestling. It paid off quite quickly. In the winter, he had already pinned down all his wrestling fellows in the club. In February 1897, famous German wrestler Fritz Knetzko came to Tallinn. Hackenschmidt was the only one among the amateurs who managed to hold out against the pressure from the German. The match ended in a draw. Sometime after, famous Polish wrestler Lurich's trainer Władysław Pytelsinski came to Tallinn. Mart Kalde was put as the main opponent against Pytelsinski. The former was a teacher from a village in the suburbs of Tallinn who often attended the weightlifting club of Andrushkevich. Kalde mastered just a few moves, but it was enough to pin down almost anyone in the club, including Hackenschmidt. But Pytelsinski pinned the both of them with ease. The loss served Hackenschmidt as an insightful lesson and made him wrestle more often. But still, his main focus remained weightlifting and general physical training. In July 1897, he was able to military press a barbell of 242 pounds, jerk 295 pounds for 15 times, and he also set a world record in the hack squat, 171 pounds. He was able to laterally raise his arms to the horizontal level with a 95-pound dumbbell in each hand. In the summer of 1897, Hackenschmidt made a public appearance in Tallinn at a celebration where he demonstrated even more impressive feats of strength. As for Hackenschmidt's physical development at the end of 1897, here it is: height 5'7", neck 17.7 inches, biceps 15.7, relaxed 17.7, flexed, forearm 12.6 inches, chest 46 inches, thigh 23.3 inches, calf 15.8, body weight about 176 pounds. His biggest achievements in weightlifting were, at that time, a 216-pound jerk with both arms, 12 times. With one arm, 187 pounds. 7 times. One arm press, 216 pounds. On one occasion, Hackenschmidt injured his arm on the job and sought medical advice. Krajewski, founder and head of the St. Petersburg Athletic and Cycling Club, it turns out, was visiting the doctor Hackenschmidt was seeing. The guest had already seen Hackenschmidt at the local weightlifting club and recognized him right away. Upon examination, the injury was found to be just a bruise. Krajewski was impressed by his physique and offered him to move to St. Petersburg. He told George that he has the potential to become the strongest athlete in the world. Meeting the father of Russian weightlifting happened to be the turning point in George's life. The year 1897 was the last year of his training in the homeland. Ahead of him lay hard training, world records, victories, laurels, and fame, even though no one could have predicted that at that time.